Hey guys, this is Ryan.
I'm Caden
from MACkit here, and today we are going to talk about what it looks like to upgrade your wakefoil setup. So this video is geared towards the person that has already gotten that beginner setup. They've learned how to ride behind their boat. They can get up, they can ride stable. They're ideally starting to get in, ride the wake a little bit, maybe pump around a little bit. And they want to upgrade their performance. They're ready to step up their gear. And we're going to walk you through how you would go about that, what you're looking to upgrade first, what some of the sizing may be there. All right, so Caden, first up, you obviously have the board in the foil. You're ready to upgrade. What are you going to upgrade first?
So first, you're going to upgrade your foil. So usually you're going to start out on around like a 4.5 foot board. And that gives you a lot of room to work with, just riding on the surface. What does that mean? That means you're not initiating the foil quite yet. You're getting up behind the boat, you're riding on the water. Once you get comfortable, you pop yourself up. That's a really easy way to get going. But yeah, so what you can do is you can swap out your front wing and you can change your ride entirely, even by having that same board. It's kind of like a safety net for you. So you don't have to swap down to that 100 centimeter board quite yet. You can stay on that long board.
Yeah, so you're saying swapping out the front wing on your foil is going to be a bigger performance upgrade than changing the board initially.
Exactly, yes.
I agree 100%. I think you're on foil, foiling is what you're doing. You're primarily riding this system here, and upgrading this, you're going to see the most performance benefit while you're up and riding. So
yeah,
what does that look like? You've got a whole foil here.
Right.
Kind of walk us through the foil, where most people are probably coming from and what they're looking at.
Yeah, so usually people are going to be coming from a size like this, around 1,500 square centimeters. And that's a pretty overstable, pretty easy foil to manage. And then, what's good about that is it's good learning. It's good to just keep on doing that. But then at a certain point, your ceiling gets a little bit low and you're ready for more. You feel slow, you feel sluggish. And then after that, you're going to swap your front wing. So you're actually going to leave everything about the same. The main thing that changes your ride, obviously, is that front wing.
Yep.
So that's why it's okay to drop down around 500 square centimeters. So this one here is the MAV2 1500, and this is the SF 1080. As you can see, a little bit of a skinnier front wing there.
And again, these sizes we're talking here, they can vary a lot. Depends on your weight, depends on the wake that you're riding in.
Right.
But we're getting a little overly general here, talking about a lot of people in the 170, 190 pound weight range, probably riding behind some sort of decent wake, like a wake boat.
Right.
And kind of what we're seeing people on. So yeah, you're starting with that 1600 foil, something like that. You're ready to downsize. You're going for the front wing first. You're looking at something in that 1,000 to 1,100 range, generally speaking. And anything else about the foil?
Overall, you want to keep everything pretty much the same, just for that learning aspect. Once you start pumping more, you might want to get a longer mast. This is a 72. When you start pumping more, you want some more room to work on that mast. So having anything between a 75 and 85 is perfect. Once you get above that, it's a little bit too much for you. And really, just the fuselage and the rear wing, you can just leave for now, just because that doesn't change your ride as much as the pumping aspect with that front wing and that mast. Plus, the stabilizer kind of keeps you it keeps the training wheels on for now, so you are ready for that next step of getting with that front wing.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Swap out the front wing, ride it as is. If you're starting to do more pumping, maybe some wake to wake transfers, trying to ride out to third wake, pump out to third wake, something like that. If you do have a 70 centimeter mast, it might be a good time to bump it up to a little taller one. And like you said, with the stabilizer, keeping it the same starting out usually works pretty well. Doesn't throw too many variables into the equation right away as you're ready to kind of unlock the potential of this front wing a little bit more. Maybe then look to upgrade that stabilizer as well.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're looking at primarily the front wing, maybe a longer mast if you want to pump a little bit more, and a new stabilizer if you really want to liven up that whole foil system. So there you have it with the foil. Starting with the foil, if you're just upgrading one thing at a time, start with the foil. Now moving over to the board here, walk us through the board. What are we looking at? What are most people getting on for their kind of beginner setup, if you will, and what are they looking at for that second setup?
Yeah, so like usually it's like just an example of what most of our customers like will start on is like the WF2, like which throughout like the years around like a 4.5 foot board, like I mentioned earlier. After that, it's like when you get a smaller board, it makes your foil a little bit more reactive. So that's why it's important just to stay on the same board for now to understand your foil, because then later on you're going to want to have like a more reactive ride. So what that means is you have a smaller board, which kind of like makes your like say these are my feet on the board. It's just less room to work with. So now I can pump easier. I can carve it. My feet can really just like get on it and hold it. And again, that comes with more experience on your new front wing. But yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at sizing. You said most people are starting with a board that's somewhere around 4.5 feet, generally speaking. They're looking to upgrade that second board. They want to go smaller. They don't necessarily want to go too small. They don't want to get something that's too close to what they already have. So what kind of size are most people looking at?
I would say anything around like 110 centimeters. It's about like 3 feet, like 3.5, like something like that. It's just a good in between of like you're not on like a wooden plank and then you're not on something that you've already been on. So yeah, just having like a good quiver that way. You never want to drop down too much. You're dropping down a perfect amount. This is the Dwarfcraft 110 right here. And this is just a perfect size for those that are like, our height. We're both 6 foot, I think. So, so it's important, like for just our stance. If you notice on the bottom here, it's like that's actually another thing that we should talk about is like where do I put my mast? So I'll flip this over here for a good spot for you, just so we can all see it. But so on these smaller boards, it's really common to have it all the way in the back to start with and then go up to like the very front once you get better and better. But if you have this too far forward on these smaller boards, it just makes your ride a lot harder. So very similar to that longer board, like, start back, head forward. This one you might actually just be in the very, very middle as far as like mast placement goes.
Yep. Yeah, the further forward you move it,
right,
the more real estate you're eating up on the front of the board. The further back you put it, the more board you're going to have out in front of your feet.
And the reason I bring this up is because this is a 110 board, so you have 10 extra centimeters. If you're on like a 90 or an 100, and you put that and you put the mast all the way forward, you don't have much board to work with. I have a wider stance. I played like basketball, tennis, and all that, so I'm very natural to just have like shoulder width, even like maybe a little bit more. So having some more wiggle room is super huge. I absolutely love that. There's some smaller boards on the market. I would stay away from those for now. Stay with the 110. So like the Dwarfcraft, for example, a perfect range, 100, 110, 120, maybe even like a 130. Once you get higher up, you're getting closer to your original board. So I think the perfect size is 110 for all riders.
Yeah, I would agree. 110 is a really good size for a lot of people. So little recap here. You've gotten your beginner setup. You're wondering if you're ready to go to the next level. If you're ready to upgrade your foil first and then your board, maybe both at the same time. How do you know if you're at that point where you're ready to upgrade? What are you looking for? One thing I would say, for sure, popping up consistently behind the boat, riding the foil with the rope. You're able to control where the foil is in the water, no problem. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be doing the buck and bronco thing anymore. Yeah. And then I would say you should be able to pull into a wake, whether it be second wake, third wake, fourth wake, wherever. You should be able to pull into a wake and start to ride it without the rope for a period of time, I would say. Anything you would add to that you would want to be kind of a benchmark you want to be at before you upgrade your foil, because obviously you don't want to upgrade your foil too early, because that's going to hurt your progression as well.
Well, you already said it, so that's one of my favorite phrases in the wakefoil world, and everyone has had it happen before, but the bucking bronco. So originally, the bucking bronco happens when you first start out. You have your weight all the way backwards because you're used to wake surfing, wakeboarding, water skiing, and then the foil wants to go but doesn't have enough speed, so then you're just doing this on it. So with the bigger boards, that's not as common because you have more room to like work with. On these smaller boards, it comes back. It comes back to haunt you, but don't be afraid of that. Just keep your mast all the way back. But I would agree with that, with what you said. Getting up on foil is so important, and I mean, it sounds pretty obvious, right? But a lot of people don't realize it, but they're actually getting up on the water first. The foil is not initiating, and then they're getting on foil. If you can get up on foil straight from the water, that's when you are ready for your smaller board. What does that look like? So that looks like you're just like in the water, and then you just feel yourself just completely just getting up on foil right away. You don't deal with any of this. You're not pumping at all. You just pop right up, and you don't feel any drag on top of the water. And with a smaller board, it becomes a lot easier. But yeah,
there you go.
I got for you.
You know you're ready to upgrade when you're riding consistently behind the boat. You can control the level of foil. You're starting to surf the wake a bit without the rope, and you're wondering if you can get a little more performance there. That's a good time to start exploring your options. A little recap: we would go for the foil first if you were trying to make the decision between board or foil to upgrade. Foil first, really focus in on that front wing. If you're far along in riding, and I would say a bit more advanced at riding the wake and maybe pumping, really easy to drop 300, 400, 500 square centimeters in that front wing size. You don't necessarily have to worry about the stabilizer size to go with it. You can upgrade that at the same time if you want. And you might want to upgrade your mast height a little bit if you're doing a lot of pumping with it. And then from there, downsize your board to something in that 110 centimeter range. And you've got a setup that you can really progress with a long ways and make it a lot easier to do wake-to-wake transfers, to pump out, catch the third, fourth, fifth wake back, pump around the boat. Just a lot more performance potential in this kind of higher performance setup, a little bit smaller gear. It's going to carve better. I'd say you could take some of this stuff into the first wake even, where your big 1500 you probably don't want to take up there.
If you take that large front wing and just go on that first wake, it just sends you straight to that moon. But yeah, just like the little it's like a few steps just to follow. Just like, I mean, just start with your original setup. After that, get your foil skills dialed in. So then after that, you can just like so then it's like riding a bike. You might be on a smaller bike, and then you have those skills dialed in after that. Once you get those even more, that's when it's time to go to your smaller board. Remember, getting up right on foil, being able to throw the rope and carve that way, and pump around. Not really much to it.
Awesome. Well, if you guys have any questions, definitely drop a comment below. Give us a call, email at the shop. We'd love to help you guys out, especially if you're looking to size up your gear specific for your conditions. That's what we're here for. This has been Ryan
and Caden from MACkit.
We'll catch you on the water.
See you later.